Ares is an aggressive support option that can take over the entire battlefield if he can get a lead. But that being said, you're not going to be able to do that if you can't understand the basics. So let's talk about it. Hello there everyone, it's me, Keltick, your Smite professor, here today to talk about the basics on how to both play and build Ares within Smite. Now, like I said, Ares is a pretty aggressive pick and he does require some higher execution to pull off. So let's start by talking about Ares' abilities. Now, to start, Ares' passive is really simple. Basically, every single aura item that Ares builds gives him an additional buff of 30 magical power. For Ares' first ability, he basically just fires out a chain. If this chain hits an enemy god, two things are going to happen. First, the enemy god that they hit are going to be both slowed and crippled for 4 seconds. Second, as long as you're hitting the chain, you are going to be able to fire another chain. This second chain can be fired to the same target to lock them down for longer, or to a new target to spread the love. If you hit all 3 chains on one target, you could realistically slow them and cripple them for 8 seconds, which is very significant. The only thing I really should note here is if you do hit that first chain, you only have 2 seconds to fire off the subsequent chain, and another 2 seconds if you hit the second chain to fire off the third. You are capped at 3 chains, but if you do not fire them, it's going to go away, so you have to be somewhat quick on following up on your initial chain. Now, Ares' second ability is an aura, and this aura does a variety of different things. First of all, it gives protections. Second of all, it gives a lot of HP 5, and third of all, it reduces incoming crowd control effects to everyone affected by the aura. This is a carry player's dream. You basically get all the fun of building tanky without having to invest in anything tanky, and that's why Ares is a pretty good backline support. Now, for Ares' third ability, he's going to spew flames out from his shield. While he is spewing out these flames, he is both knock up and knockback immune. Now, what's special about these flames is they do 2 types of damage. First, they just do, normal magic damage. And second, they do percent of health damage. This is quite literally a tank melting ability. At max rank, it will melt 3% of the target's HP per tick. And each tick is, well, a half a second. So you're quite literally melting the tanks. Now, for Ares' ultimate, it is a 2-phase ability. Basically, there's the startup phase, where Ares is going to latch himself to every enemy god around him. And then the second phase is after 2.5 seconds, he will pull everything that is not currently CC immune to his target location and stun them for a second. If you do not have beads or a CC immune ultimate, you are going to be pulled in and likely killed either by Ares or by Ares' team. Great setup, great ability to burn opponents' beads. Lots of fun. So now I'm going to move into build. For Ares' build, we are prioritizing aura items for both Ares' passive and to make the most out of bolster defenses. With the build path that is on your screen now, whenever bolster defenses is active, and it can be active very often, you are going to be giving your carries 60 plus of each protection plus CC reduction plus HP 5. You are basically a walking mantle of discord in protections, but not, technicalities, not the passive. It's a lot of protections. It's going to force the opponent to have to build differently if you are playing with your carries, which is what I recommend. If we're talking general playstyle, it's kind of like what I said with Odin. For the first 20 or so minutes, you want to be very aggressive. You want to look to get picks. You use your ult very aggressively. You are leading the charge. And then in late game teamfights, you are sitting back with your carries. You're using your auras, and you are locking down the assassin and the solo laner that is likely trying to kill your carries, and then maybe using your ultimate as a secondary engage to help your team clean up after relics have already been used. That's really all the time I have to talk about Ares. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, subscribe to this channel. We are doing stuff like this all the time. If you do want to keep learning Smite with me right now, click that video on your screen and I'll see you there. Have yourselves a casual day, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, guys.